Hello, everyone, and welcome to the main event, Figure Federation. It's our second pay-per-view and the last one of 2020. I am your host of the Jakk'd brand. I am Troy, and your host of the Overdrive brand. He's Greg. What's up, Greg?
What up?
We are bringing you Winter Jam from Jakk'd and Indestructible from Overdrive today, right here on the main event, Figure Federation. We have collectively decided to take next week, or I guess tomorrow, Monday, off, and we are going to start again on a different cycle next week. So that would be January 4th. We are bringing you a new episode of the Monday Night Wars. But yeah, I'm hyped up for the pay-per-view here, man. Closing out 2020 with a bang.
Yeah, I am too. This one took me a while to write because couldn't decide on stuff, so...
Yeah, I know you always do multiple drafts and stuff like that. I know I basically had mine figured out, but I changed a few things. I had sent you, so I do those, the artwork for like the hype of the matches and whatever. And I had sent you a few that I realized after I sent them, I'm like, that is not what I'm doing. So obviously I made those fairly early, and then I've since changed my booking, so.
Well, plans change.
Hashtag plans changed. Get it trending. Speaking of trending, follow us on social media on Facebook. We're facebook.com/main event marks pod. Twitter and Instagram, we are at main event _marks. Or you can follow, Greg is the main event collector. You can follow him at main event collector. So we got a lot going on social media. And obviously we share anytime we got anything new, show-wise, and all that good stuff. So I'm also on Reddit if you want to hit me up on there. I share a bunch of crap on there. Look for main event marks. So yeah. Anyway, Greg is going to kick us off today with Indestructible from the Overdrive brand. It is his second pay-per-view ever. Are you ready for this, Greg?
I think so.
All right. Well, we're going to hit the ring bell, go into our first break. When we come back, it's Overdrive's Indestructible pay-per-view.
All right, welcome to Indestructible. As if anybody couldn't figure out what the song was going to be. All right, we have an amazing show planned, and the GM is here for the very first time ever. All right, match number 1. The Viking Raiders are out, their opponents. Red Dragon's out. Alright, here we go. All 4 men start brawling. Eventually the ref gets the match in order. Ivar and O'Reilly are beating the hell out of each other viciously. O'Reilly eventually comes back with some kicks. Hits big elbow, stuns Ivar. Ivar tags in Eric. O'Reilly rushes him, immediately attacks. Eric shoves him back and rushes in with a huge forearm smash. O'Reilly is very out of it, has no clue where he is. He up kicks, flooring him. O'Reilly starts to crawl towards Fish, but Ivar runs in, stomps him. O'Reilly eventually makes the tag, but the ref does not see the tag and makes Fish stay on the outside. Ivar tags in, goes at O'Reilly, who catches a enziguri. He manages to crawl to Fish, who rushes in and goes off on Ivar. He knocks Eric off the apron, hits Ivar with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker for 2. Eric comes in, intercepted by O'Reilly, who dumps him over the top rope. They signal for chasing the dragon as Ivar gets up. As they get Ivar up for chasing the dragon, Eric runs in with a chair. O'Reilly sees this, immediately hits a Van Dam-style kick, putting Eric down. Ivar shoves O'Reilly over the top, but he manages to hold on, deliver a huge right to Ivar, stunning him. They then hit Chasing the Dragon on Ivar for the win. New Overdrive Tag Team Champions, the Red Dragon. We go to match 2. Baron Corbin is out. followed by Ricochet. Corbin has all of his security around the ring. Before the bell even rings, Corbin says he knows the GM is here and wants to see him or her for himself before he defends his United States title. The referee is telling Corbin that he is about to ring the bell and start the match. Corbin yells at the ref, says he refuses to wrestle even if he rings the bell. Ricochet hits a flying drop kick, knocking Corbin out of the ring. Corbin starts to walk off, but Ricochet follows him and attacks. Security starts to hold Ricochet back, allowing Corbin to get in some cheap shots. They throw Ricochet back in the ring. Corbin follows. The ref rings the bell. Corbin is now livid at the ref, saying he told him he wasn't going to wrestle till the GM showed their face. He pie faces the ref, but the ref shoves Corbin right back into a waiting Ricochet, who hits a suplex into a powerbomb, followed by a 630. The ref then counts a very fast 3 count for Ricochet, giving him the win. Corbin seems to recover fast, and he's very livid. He immediately rolls out to the security guard with the U.S. title, making sure it is still secure, and they leave while looking around for anybody that may attack them. Okay, match number 3. Elias is out, followed by his opponent. All right, Benjamin rushes the ring. Bell immediately rings. The match starts off very fast. He's hitting Elias with everything. Elias attempts to come back. Benjamin floors him with a dragon whip for a 2 count. As Elias gets up, Benjamin looks for a super kick, but gets a big boot from Elias for a 2 count. Elias picks Benjamin up, but Benjamin gets a surprise roll-up for a 2. As both men get up after this, Elias goes for another big boot. Shelton Benjamin ducks, and the ref gets hit. Elias then hits Benjamin with the drift away, putting him down. Elias smiles, knowing the match is in the bag. He rolls out to get his guitar, gets back in the ring, ready to smash it over Benjamin's head, but the ref is back up, grabs the guitar from Elias, and admonishes him. Elias turns around, gets hit with pay dirt for the 3, giving Benjamin his very first win. Benjamin is elated while celebrating. Gorilla Monsoon is telling Corey it was only a matter of time. Corey says that even a blind squirrel finds a nut, but good for Shelton Benjamin. Okay, we're in the back. We see a limo pull up. We assume it's the general manager, but we're not sure. Match number 4 for the United States Championship. All right, Finn Balor is out. His opponent. Okay. Tommaso Ciampa makes his way out. Sans United States title. Baron Corbin appears on the ramp with the United States title, though, surrounded by all of his security. Both men immediately brawl. We're in the match now, sorry. Both men immediately brawl. Balor gets the upper hand, hitting some stiff kicks, but Ciampa answers with hard rights and lefts. Both men start to look very worn out. Corbin starts to inch closer and closer to the ring. Ciampa looks at Corbin, but decides to focus on Balor. He goes for the fairy tale ending. Balor resists, flips Ciampa over, and bridges for a 2 count. Ciampa attempts to go for it again, but Balor back body drops him, hits a double foot stomp for 2. Balor sees his chance, goes up for the coup de grace. He leaps high, but Ciampa rolls out of the way. Balor hits a sling blade, goes up again, but Ciampa shakes the rope, making Balor straddle the top turnbuckle. Ciampa climbs up, Balor fights back. Corbin starts to approach, but Ricochet appears, grabs the United States title, runs off with it, with Balor and security chasing him. As they circle the ring, Ricochet throws the title in the ring to keep it away from Corbin. The ref is focused on the melee. Balor grabs the title. He thinks about using it on Ciampa, but doesn't. He drops the title, goes after Ciampa, but Ciampa hits a low blow, grabs the U.S. title, hits Balor with it, then hits the fairy tale ending on the title, throws it out of the ring to the side, gets the 3 counts. Still United States champion, Tommaso Ciampa. After everything clears, the lights go down, the GM makes his entrance. The GM is Precious Paul Ellering. Ellering says he is sick and tired of Baron Corbin disrupting his show, but also says that Ciampa is not innocent. Next Monday on Overdrive, he'll put forth a solution to end this all. Paul then says he has thrown both men out of the building. He says, in other business, congrats to the new tag champions, the Red Dragon, as he knows a thing or two about tag team wrestling, and that is one of the best he's ever seen. Paul leaves as we prepare for our main event. Right. It is main event time. Alright, Andrade's out, followed by the champion. Alright. Lots of chain wrestling to start the match. Both men are going back and forth. Andrade gets the upper hand and hits the backbreaker / spinning elbow drop for a long 2 count. Andrade wastes no time in staying on Dunne, but Dunne manages to grab a hand and use the finger snap to slow Andrade. Dunne hits a jump up enziguri, backing Andrade into the corner. He runs in, but Andrade moves, hits a cartwheel Pele kick for 2. Andrade sets Pete up on the turnbuckle and pulls him back. Andrade goes up for the double foot stomp to a hanging Dunne, but Dunne crouches up, hits a belly to belly immediately from the top. He immediately crawls down, goes for the cover, gets 2. Dunne decides to end it, signals for the bitter end, but Andrade blocks, goes for La Sombra, but Dunne blocks, shoves Andrade back, hits 3 big elbow smashes, followed by the bitter end for the win. Now we go off the air with Dunne celebrating, Andrade looking on in disgust. Gorilla thanks the audience for watching, says we'll see you next week on Overdrive and next month for Uprising. As we fade to black.
All right, that's Indestructible, man. A lot of shocks there. With the way you were building the Viking Raiders up, I wouldn't have called you putting the belts on Red Dragon. I mean, I know you're a huge fan of them, but still, just like with the build-up, I was just assuming it was going to be the Viking Raiders.
Swerve, bro.
Bro, nobody cares, bro. They're Vikings.
He would say that, too.
But the other one, man, the big one, Paul Ellering. I don't know why he wasn't even like a thought in my mind. Never in a million years would have called Paul Ellering, even though I know you just got him.
Well, that's why I had to wait so long, because the damn mail. Full disclosure, real life here, real life problems. I was supposed to have him like 3 weeks ago, and it kept getting delayed in the mail, so I kept having to put off the reveal.
Oh, I thought this was your plan all along, was put it off this long.
No, I was going to reveal a couple weeks ago on Overdrive, but I didn't have the damn figure in my hand. And then once I got it, I could have actually done it last week on Overdrive. I was like, I'll save it for the pay-per-view. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, might as well. I think it's better to drop the reveal right there on pay-per-view. So, I don't know, it all worked out, man. The main event, there's only so many world title matches you can be like, it's a pick 'em. You never know who's going to win,
Yeah, right.
I mean, you could have swerved the hell out. Swerve, bro! The hell out of me and made it Andrade, but I don't know. I was just like, man, that would have kind of sucked if Pete Dunne is your first champ and then within a month he drops it.
I am a huge Andrade fan, but it's like, not yet.
Right, yeah. He's already got a prize at home. It's okay.
I'll say.
All right, man. Well, that was Indestructible. And like you said, I could kind of figure out what the theme song was going to be. I mean, that one was kind of like, if you didn't go with that one, I was going to be like, the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, that was actually one of the first pay-per-views I thought of, because that was another one I was just listening to Spotify, writing shows and stuff, and that song came on, like, wow, that'd be a good name for a pay-per-view. And there's the song, so...
Right, yeah.
It was between that and Stupefy, so,
Yeah, well, yeah, I think you made the right choice there. Either way, that does it for that one. I guess we're going to hit the ring bell, and when we come back, we're going to come at you with some Winter Jam. We'll be right back. And now, the Jakk'd brand of the Main Event Figure Federation presents Winter Jam. Hello, everyone. I'm good old JR, Jim Ross, and welcome to our second pay-per-view under the Jakk'd brand. It is Winter Jam. Special thanks to Fozzy for our theme song of the night, Burn Me Out, which you'll hear performed live later tonight by Chris Jericho and his band Fozzy. Speaking of Chris Jericho, tonight he's defending his junior heavyweight title against Owen Hart. Also, we got Mankind's open challenge against Lou Albano's special hand-picked opponent in a hardcore match. We've got the tag team titles defended by Demolition against the British Bulldogs, and the main event, of course, is going to be Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. The winner is the first ever Jakk'd heavyweight champion. Now, we get to our first match of the night. It's a junior heavyweight title defended for all of you here. All right, first out is Owen Hart. He is the challenger for the junior heavyweight title. Before the champion can even come out, Owen Hart grabs a microphone and says that he doesn't care if it's going to ruin the show, but not only is he going to become the junior heavyweight champion tonight, but he'll make sure that Jericho has to sing later while sitting in a chair. Jericho now makes his entrance. The champion wastes no time tossing his title to the ring announcer, and he instantly tries to double leg Owen Hart. And they get into a bit of a hockey fight. They brawl around ringside. Jericho gains control and breaks the count a few times so he can keep slamming Owen into the thinly padded concrete outside. Finally, Owen manages to trip Jericho and slingshot him face first into the ring post. Jericho's busted wide open, and Owen rolls them both inside the ring. From here, it turns into more of a technical match with Owen working on Jericho's legs. Owen goes for a moonsault, but Jericho moves and Owen lands on his feet. Owen trips himself up a little bit on the landing, and Jericho hits an enziguri into a lionsault for a near fall. Jericho works on Owen's back for a little while before throwing him into the corner, hitting a running facebuster and going for another lionsault, but Owen moves. Jericho lands on his feet, tweaking his knee. Owen now trips Jericho, locks in the sharpshooter. Jericho fights and fights before turning it around, punching a crouched Owen in the head and rolling him up for a near fall. The men continue to go back and forth until Owen gets Jericho in a tombstone position, but Jericho slides out behind Owen and hits the breakdown before hitting another lionsault for the pinfall victory. Your winner, Chris Jericho, still the junior heavyweight champion of the Jakk'd brand. We now go to segment 2 of the night. Mankind is out first, and he rocks back and forth in the corner while he grabs a microphone. He says, "All right, Captain Lou, your time is up. You promised me a big surprise for my hardcore open challenge. Who's it going to be, Albano?" After a few moments, Captain Lou marches out onto the stage, and he stands there while smiling with his hands on his hips. He then motions for someone to come out from the back, and we hear some unfamiliar music. It's Abdullah the Butcher. The Butcher waddles his way out to the ring with Captain Lou right behind him. And when he gets in, he and Mankind start brawling instantly. They fight with their fists and feet for a while until Mankind gets a distinct advantage. And then Abdullah pulls out his trademark fork and he starts using it. Both men end up spilling out of the ring after a while, and Mankind is a bloody mess. They use chairs, ring posts, and the guardrail, Abdullah's fork, and everything else. Abdullah pulls up the ring mats outside to reveal the concrete, and he body slams Mankind onto it. He poses and he signals for a while, and then he attempts his jumping elbow drop, but Mankind moves and Abdullah smacks the concrete hard. Mankind then grabs him for a double arm DDT onto the concrete. He picks him up. He nails a stump pile driver on the big man onto the concrete. Captain Lou looks on in horror as a bloody Mankind pins Abdullah the Butcher for the pinfall win. Mankind is still undefeated in his hardcore open challenge. All right, segment 3 is Captain Lou Albano checks on Abdullah the Butcher as Mankind celebrates for a bit. He then looks over at Captain Lou angrily. He grabs him by his Hawaiian shirt, shaking him, and Albano pleads with Mankind. This falls on deaf ears as Mankind throws him backwards into the guardrail, hard enough to drop him. The referees rush out to hold Mankind back. Mankind rolls into the ring, and he poses and celebrates some more before the lights drop, and we hear the crowd goes nuts as the lights come back on, and the Undertaker is standing behind Mankind. Mankind turns, and he gets goozled. He fights it by locking the mandible claw in. The Undertaker starts going down with the move, but he kicks Mankind repeatedly in the gut, smacks his hand away. He hits a choke slam. Taker then goes to grab the chair that Mankind used before, and Mankind is back up. The Undertaker blasts him in the head with a chair, and he tosses it aside. The lights drop again as we hear the gong one more time. When the lights are back on, Undertaker is gone, and Mankind is still a bloody mess, spread eagle in the ring. So that is segment 3. Segment 4, we move on. It is the tag team title match. First, the challengers. It's Davey Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid. They won their chance at the tag titles at the last pay-per-view, Rage in a Cage, and they retained it this past week against the Hollywood Blondes. They are taking on the champions. It's Axe and Smash. Demolition marches to the ring. All right. This starts off fairly evenly matched until Demolition simply overpowers the Dynamite Kid, and they get the heat on him in their corner. After so long, he finally slips behind Smash for a German suplex. Then he crawls to make a hot tag to Davey Boy. Davey Boy runs wild on Demolition for a while before Demolition finally cut him off and look as though they're going to get the advantage back. But Dynamite Kid rushes in. He stops him from double teaming on Davey Boy. This allows Davey to hit a running power slam on Axe. But just as Dynamite is about to leap off the top with a flying headbutt, stunning Steve Austin runs down. He shoves him off the top rope. Flying Brian is on the apron. He hits Air Pillman on Davey Boy, who's back up on his feet. The referee calls for the bell. The Bulldogs win this match via disqualification. And now, after the match, the Hollywood Blondes are in the ring, just laying waste to the British Bulldogs. When Dynamite gets up, they hit a double stun gun on him. They do the same to Davey Boy when he gets up. Axe and Smash are now both on their feet, and they realize what the hell just happened. They charge at the Blondes, but Austin and Pillman bail from the ring, and they back up the ramp, smiling and laughing and waving and whatnot, doing their little camera taunt as they leave. All right. We now go to segment 6. Fozzy is already on the stage as we hear Chris Jericho's music hits. He comes out one more time, smiling with his junior heavyweight title around his waist. He asks if everybody's ready to rock before they break into their first song. They play Burn Me Out one more time. And then when the crowd's all hyped up after this and cheering for him, Chris Jericho's got him on his side. Then they hit Everybody loses their mind as they play their hit song, Judas. Everybody's going nuts after the performance. And after the little mini concert, Jericho thanks the crowd. He reminds them all that this is why he is the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, before holding up his junior heavyweight title, and all of a sudden the cheers turned to massive boos. After a few moments, the boos turned to massive cheers. Jericho thinks that they're turning back for him, but in reality, Rob Van Dam just walked out onto the stage behind Chris Jericho, clapping for him. When he gets next to Jericho, Chris finally turns and he glares at RVD, who's smiling and nodding in approval at Jericho, giving him a golf clap. Jericho looks angrily at RVD, and Van Dam unstraps his television title from around his waist, and he holds it up high while staring at Jericho, who returns this by holding up his junior heavyweight title. Both men trash talk each other for a while before we roll into our next segment. And we get a recap video of everything that's happened between Shawn Michaels, Diesel, and Razor. So far, Razor has mostly been a passive spectator as Diesel and Shawn lost the tag title tournament. Shawn accidentally cost Diesel his heavyweight title tournament match, and Diesel purposely cost Shawn his heavyweight title tournament match before repeatedly jackknifing him, putting him on the shelf for almost a month. After that, we get highlights of them beating each other up backstage in previous weeks before Eric Bischoff booked them in a match we're about to see. Now we get Armando Alejandro Estrada standing backstage with Diesel. Armando asks Diesel if he's got any regrets about how things have went down between him, Shawn, and Razor. Diesel chuckles. He says, "Regrets? The only regrets I have are not putting Shawn permanently on the shelf. Shawn has proven he doesn't have what it takes to be the top guy anymore. And much like the band Queen, I've got no time for losers. So tonight, I'm going to make short work out of the little guy. I'm going to use every advantage I've got in this street fight and send Shawn back to his wife and kids in Texas and out of my hair. Then on to the Jakk'd heavyweight title for Big Daddy Cool. And Razor, don't try to play peacekeeper. You're a ref. Just do your damn job, and we won't have a problem." We now switch over to Don Callis standing by with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. Callis asks Razor about his thoughts on the street fight and about being a referee in a match between his two best friends. Razor says, "You know, man, whenever the Clique ever had issues, I never took sides. I always tried to play it right down the middle. If Big D wants to get angry with me about that, that's on him, Chico. And like I always do with my compadres, tonight, calling it down the middle." And Shawn says, "Razor, I've got all the confidence in the world in you, but Diesel's right. You don't need to try to play peacekeeper anymore. This is between him and I. Or what he did to me last month was inexcusable and unforgivable. I'm a Christian man, and I believe in an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. I'm going Old Testament style on Big Daddy Cool tonight. So, Razor, just count the fall. That's literally your only duty tonight. Stay out of our ways and let us handle this like two grown men who want to tear each other apart." Shawn storms off as Razor folds his arms and shakes his head. All right, we are now on to the street fight between Shawn Michaels and Diesel with special guest referee Razor Ramon. First, we get the referee. The bad guy. Razor Ramon makes his way to the ring, followed by the first competitor. Big Daddy Cool, Diesel. And finally, we get all right. Shawn Michaels is out. And we start this one off. It's a pure brawl. Shawn holds his own for quite a while, especially when he manages to use an inanimate object against Diesel. However, Diesel's size and power proves to be too much for Shawn as he ends up gaining control. Diesel sets up two tables side by side outside of the ring, but this gives Shawn time to grab a trash can and repeatedly blast Diesel with it. He even puts the can over Diesel's head and shoves him into the ring post, dropping him, and then he grabs a chair and he blasts the can that's still over Diesel's head. Shawn sets up a large ladder, and he takes a can off of Diesel, and he beats the now bloody Big Daddy Cool onto, and then he lays him onto the tables. Shawn dives off the ladder with an elbow to Diesel through both of the tables at the same time. as Shawn gets Diesel up to roll him into the ring. However, Diesel musters up enough strength to shove Shawn into the ring post. When Shawn's back up, Diesel big boots him over top of the guardrail and into the crowd. Diesel tosses chairs into the ring, into a pile, and he rolls Shawn back in. He goes for a jackknife onto the chairs, but Shawn gets out of it. He goes for a super kick, but Diesel moves, and Shawn super kicks Razor, dropping him. Diesel now hits the jackknife to Shawn onto the chairs, but there's no ref. Diesel tries to revive Razor before he goes back to Shawn, who now low blows Diesel. Shawn's up with a chair and mercilessly beats Diesel with it. He's up top and he hits an elbow drop, but there's no ref, so Shawn grabs a chair as Diesel gets up. He tosses the chair at him. Diesel catches it, and Shawn nails Sweet Chin Music into the chair into Diesel's face, and he falls on top of Diesel, both men exhausted, and Razor was up, and he counts the 1, 2, 3. Shawn Michaels beats Diesel. Now, after the match, Shawn is celebrating as Razor gets up and holds his hand up for the win. Razor goes to check on Diesel as Michaels celebrates and poses for a while. Razor helps Diesel stagger to his feet before Diesel grabs Razor's ref shirt, and he just chucks him over the top rope and out of the ring. Razor lands and kind of tweaks his knee, and he can't get up. Shawn turns to see this in shock, allowing Diesel to big boot him. Diesel then drops Shawn with a jackknife powerbomb onto the stack of chairs yet again. He drags him outside, and he hits a jackknife through the announcer's table. A ton of referees hit the ring now, and they force Diesel to leave. See EMTs check on Razor and Shawn. And now we move on to our number one contenders match for the evening. It is a triple threat match between Sting, Bret Hart, and Kurt Angle. First up, we get it's Sting! And his first opponent, Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist. And finally, the Hitman, Bret Hart. All right, all three men take turns being in control of this one and locking in their signature submission moves. By the end, hardly anyone can stand. In the end, Angle locks in the Angle lock on Sting, but he rolls through with it, and Angle goes flying into Bret Hart into the corner. Sting hobbles up, and he hits a Stinger splash on both of them. Angle falls backwards and collapses while Hart staggers, and Sting clotheslines him out of the ring before heading up top. It takes Sting a while on his bum leg, however, and Angle gets up just in time, and he runs to the top rope, but Sting shoves him off. Angle is back up to his feet, and Sting hits a flying crossbody. He hooks the leg, and he gets the 1, 2, 3 just as Angle kicks out. Sting is your winner, and he is your number one contender. Going on to our first pay-per-view of the year 2021, the Battle for New York. And he will face whoever wins our world title match here tonight. All right, main event time, ladies and gents. It is Hulk Hogan. It is Ric Flair for the Jakk'd heavyweight title. All right, we do this real big here for the entrances. Ric Flair enters with a harem of beautiful women accompanying him to the ring. Sparks fly on the stage during his entrance. He looks only the way only Ric Flair can look. And then we get his opponent. Hulk Hogan comes out waving a giant American flag. Red and yellow pyro blows on the stage while he walks to the ring. The crowd's going nuts for the Hulkster. All right, now we start the match. The match starts off with Ric Flair attacking Hogan with punches, chops, and kicks, but Hogan shrugs it all off, and he comes back on Flair with repeated punches and body slams and whatnot. Flair flips and flops around for Hogan for a while until the referee gets a little too close, and Flair makes sure he's out of position so that he can low blow Hulk Hogan, and the ref doesn't see it. Flair then proceeds to rake Hogan's eyes over the top rope and repeatedly punch him in the temple. Flair now takes time to go after Hogan's right leg, and he beats on it repeatedly with stomps, knee drops, and elbow drops. He dumps Hogan outside of the ring at one point, and he whips him towards the steel ring stairs, but Hogan reverses, and Flair hits knees first, and he flips over him. Flair's back up, and Hogan repeatedly slams Flair face first into the steps before rolling him back into the ring. Flair's busted wide open because it's a world title match, so Flair's got to bleed. Hogan starts his Superman routine on Flair for a bit before Flair thumbs him in the eye, and he goes back to work on Hogan's right leg. Flair goes for a figure four, but Hogan turns it into a small package for a near fall. Both men are back up, and Hogan suplexes Flair, body slams him, goes for the big leg drop, but he misses as Flair moves out of the way. Flair takes this opportunity to lock in the figure four, but Hogan crawls to the ropes ever so slowly. Flair tries to beat Hogan, but Hogan hulks up, and he gets to his feet. He does his 3-punch routine with a big boot before nailing the big leg drop, and he pins the Nature Boy Ric Flair. 1, 2, 3. We got a new world champion. Red, white, and black confetti shoot from the ceilings for, the colors of Jakk'd. They shoot from the ceiling. The crowd goes wild. Hogan poses with the Jakk'd heavyweight title in the ring because Hogan must pose. Real American blares over the loudspeakers. End of pay-per-view.
Abdullah the Butcher.
You were holding that one in all show.
I was. I actually had to check twice to make sure I was muted because I was like losing my crap over here. Like, why?
This is a hardcore match, and it's and it's Captain Lou Albano. He's got to bring in one of the old timers, and it's.
How do you own that figure? I
do own that figure. Yeah.
Very good. Now ask, why do you own it?
Oh, well, I don't know, because why do I own a Jimmy Valiant figure?
That's a lot more better than Abdullah the Butcher, who could make an argument for the worst wrestler in the history of wrestling, by the way.
Well, yeah, he's definitely in there for sure.
So then I win.
Well, he was still a draw, so I mean, there's that, I guess.
Yeah, for morons.
Yeah, I don't know. He had that evil.
I can't believe you own a freaking Abdullah figure. Good God.
For hardcore stuff and whatnot. They even put the those indents he has in his in the top of his head.
Well, yeah, I would hope. I mean,
yeah, I mean it's fairly accurate. So there's that. I don't know. I found my ring, everybody. So I might do some fig photography for this. We'll see. Depends on how much free time I have in the next couple of days if I get that done.
Did Sting do this and that? I don't know if I heard that.
Well, yeah, I mean he did his special this and that combo for the win. So, I mean I got my main event for the next pay-per-view booked already for the battle, or excuse me, the battle for New York. It is Sting versus Hulk Hogan, world title, baby.
And did the crowd sing Judas? They chorused to Judas twice.
Oh, I'm sure they did. They even after he stopped performing, they were still singing. Up until they realized, hey, you're still an a-hole. We got to boo you.
Canadians, am I right?
Hell yeah, got some stuff in the works with Rob Van Dam. Got Brett and Owen Hart on the card for a winter show because Canadians and winter go together like lamb and tuna fish.
You mean like spaghetti and meatballs?
Yeah, whatever.
Considering you're in America, if you don't like that, get the hell out.
What the hell?
Oh, we're going to do the scene and do the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the pay-per-views, man. Some big surprises, I think, on both shows. I didn't have any like surprise debuts or anything like that, but I'm continuing on with some feuds. And
Hulk must pose. Steen did this and that. Judas was sang. I think you checked every box.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you whipped out another. I don't even know if useless is the right word, but it got me laughing. I'll say that with Abdullah.
Oh come on! You got in a match, a hardcore match with Mankind and Abdullah the frickin' Butcher. Hell to the yeah! He was my big pay-per-view surprise.
So you did have a debut.
Sorta, but he's not. I mean, I'm not keeping him around.
But you're not going to drop Ric Flair for him?
I thought about it. I mean, when you lose to Hulk Hogan on pay-per-view, what good are you to me now?
Wow.
Brought it back. All right. Well, like I said, ladies and gents, we are taking this week off from the Main Event Figure Federation. We are still doing a review of Starrcade 2000. So look for that in your feed on Wednesday. That is our final show of everything for the year. Also, if you haven't caught up with us, this past week we dropped 2 shows for the Main Event marks. We had D-Generation X in your house on Wednesday and AWA Super Clash 3 on Friday for the bonus show. Both of which were, I'll say, interesting. I'll leave it at interesting.
Yeah, and we just added an Abdullah Butcher career retrospective next year. So, we'll be doing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's half the show. The other half will be the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. So, I told
you. Your show never fails to make me lose my crap, though. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm telling you, man, this is how I'm showcasing my collection. But all right, well, thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Mm-hmm. It was an experience.
Yep. And we will talk to you all. For the loyal followers of the Main Event Figure Federation, we will see you all next year for 2021.